Next, we look at, it's clear that the primary duty of parents is to provide protection for their children. So here, they're going to talk about the duty of the parents, how they're going to protect the children. So before they start on this information, they wanted to give a bit of the background information. Okay, now let's look at defining signal words or phrases. Defining means like you want to give definition, or you want to explain about the meaning of certain terms that you're going to use in your presentation, so that it will give a clear picture for the listener to understand your presentation, or to follow your presentation. So in a lecture, it is often necessary to define the terms that will be used, okay, in a lecture or in a presentation. All right, here I've listed a few defining signal words or phrases, okay, which you can use. For example, like X could be the term that you're going to use in your presentation. So how are you going to define the terms? Like X is what? Okay, like X is called, X is known as, X is defined as, X is a type of Y, that, or which. Okay, these are listed defining a signal words or phrases. Okay, like for example, here I've given few sentences. Like the first one, effective communication. Okay, effective communication is key to your business success. Okay, another example here is a myocardial infarction is known as a heart attack. Okay, if you, for example, normally doctors, they know what is myocardial infarction. Like normal person like us, we might be confused. What is myocardial infarction? So you have to define the term by using defining signal phrases like, it's known as a heart attack. All right, now we look at enumerating or listing signal words or phrases. Okay, it is generally shows a series of events. Okay, series of events or process or steps where you want the listener or the reader to follow accordingly. Therefore, the action or events are listed in chronological order. Chronological order means like, it comes with like step 1, step 2, step 3. All right? All right, let's look at the examples of enumerating or listing signal words or phrases. Here, like firstly, next, then, lastly, finally, and then we look at the phrases here. First of all, in the first place, for one thing, to begin with, or for another thing. So these are the examples that you can use to show the steps or the series of events or process. Okay, here in this slide, you can see a short text on how to properly clean between your teeth. So there are a few blanks here. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes to think about enumerating or listing signal words to fill in these blanks. 3 minutes. Try to figure it out. It's a very simple task. Okay, let's check your answers. Right? To properly clean between your teeth, you should floss each day. Okay, what is floss? Floss, you can see in the picture, using a string to floss your teeth. That means you're cleaning in between your teeth. You should floss each day. What could be the answer? A starting of a process. Normally we use first. Okay, first break off about 18 inches of floss and wind most of it around one of your fingers. Okay, the next answer, let's check. Next or second, or you even can use then. Wind the remaining floss around the same finger of the other hand. Okay, here I use then. Then or third, hold the floss tightly between your thumbs and forefingers. Okay. Finally or lastly, guide the floss between your teeth using a gentle rubbing motion. Okay. Following these steps each day will help you keep your teeth healthy for life. Okay, so this is the process. First, next, then or third, and finally, lastly. Okay, you cannot mix up the what we call the process. You have to follow chronologically, or you have to follow the correct order. Right, now we look at clarifying or explaining signal words or phrases. Here, the instructor will try to explain the meaning of difficult concepts or difficult situation or difficult statements, okay, to make it clearer or less confused and more comprehensible so that the listener can follow exactly what they are trying to explain about, okay, what they are trying to talk about. All right, to do so, they may repeat the information using different words. Okay, so here I've listed a few signal words or phrases where they can use it to repeat the information. For example, in other words, or rather, that is to say, basically, to put it another way, or you could say, that means, let me put it another way. Okay, so you can use these signal words in order to clarify or explain the difficult concepts. This slide shows the example of clarifying or explaining signal words or phrases applied in the sentences. Okay, let's look at the first sentence. The car's basically okay, but the paintwork needs some attention. Why they're clarifying this? Maybe there's a question that's popped up like, what's wrong with your car? It looks okay. So he's trying to clarify it by saying the car's basically okay, but the paintwork needs some attention. So he's explaining about the paintwork here. Okay, let's look at the next sentence. He was economical with the truth. In other words, he was lying. Of course, when you start with a sentence like, he was economical with the truth, you'll be like, what? Economical with the truth? So that's why you have to clarify that by putting it in other words like, he was lying. Okay, now let's look at the third example here. We stayed at my friend's house, or rather at my friend's parents' house. Of course, our parents, if you say, Mom, I'm staying in my friend's house, your friend has a house, the first question will pop up. So that's why you have to clarify that by putting in other words. You can say, or rather, at my friend's parents' house, Mom. Okay, so she'll be telling, now I have understood. Now we look at moving on or changing direction signal words or phrases. Here, the lecture will be organized around several different points. Of course, your lecturer, doesn't come into the class with just one point to discuss. They will come with several different points to discuss during the lesson. Therefore, it is important to notice when the instructor or lecturer moves from one point to the next. So, this signal word or phrase will give you the hint when the lecturer is moving from one point to the next point. So it will be easy for you to take down the notes. At the same time, you also can use this signal word during your presentation when you are moving to one point to another point. All right, here I've listed down the example of moving on or changing direction, signal, word or phrase. So let's see. That's all I want to say about. Okay, now, all right. Okay, then the next point is, this is very direct. Very direct. He's saying like the next point is what? Another interesting point is, that means you have to notify them. Okay, another interesting point is, okay, let's now look at